Plánujeme na to, ideme to znova tvrdorazne prebudiť. Už sa blížime sa kľúčovému Power of Exile. Tento týždeň piatok to už vypukne. Takže budeme musieť teraz viacej dobehnúť na hnitý trón. Takže a naspäť k veci. Je pondelok 27.2026. Máme 5 klikožrutov, 190, 80, 70 a 60 kliksterov. Začíname 17.04, prvá séria 100 klikožrutov, 100 kliksterov. Púšťame Pičusa Sir Goga ako podmas.
Since the Mercenaries League, we have had a couple of things get more common. So Exalt Dwarves have become 20 times more common than they were back then, and Raid Lords have become more common, but they're going to have absolutely nothing compared to, they're going to have no impact compared to this change. Transmutations and augmentations are really, really, really common. There are Searing Exarch ultimate modifiers that can drop Mercenary Scarabs. I'm not sold that these are going to be among the better categories of Scarabs. I think they're going to be in the middling tier of Scarabs so far. Although I'm open to being proven wrong on especially the Trafalgar Renown and Trafalgar Infamy. These could be better than they look. And surprising alliances, this could just be really wild. I mean, that's the word that it uses itself. That could be really silly. Hive Mercenaries now have an information sheet with all of their passive stats. That's quality of life upgrade. The other thing that's worth noting is that the warrants that we're talking about, these will be able to be searched for in the trade interface as well. That's something that's not the patch notes, that's something that was a Reddit comment from Grinding Games yesterday morning my time. So we're talking like 16 hours ago or something like that. After this, we're going to have the Abyss revamp. There is a lot to say about Abyss here. But the main thing that needs to be said is that we don't know how substantial this is going to play out. The first thing that I'm thinking, though, is that everything we know about Abyss in the past no longer applies, but there's a bunch of new synergies for Abyss Duels that could potentially make them better. And on top of that, Abyss is also going to be something that might be the best way of getting XP now. So we shall see exactly where it comes out, but Abyss is getting a bunch of functional changes. The cracks leading up to Abyssal Pits are now already open before you approach. This is PoE 2 style, for those of you that play PoE 2 as well. There's going to be a bunch of enemies in its influence area that you can then kill, and when you do that, they get sent down into the pit, they get changed up a little bit, and then they get disgorged again. They only get disgorged again when you actually finish off the pit that you're working on. Gone are the days of chasing and meandering Abyssal crap pack.
Na to druhá séria, 90 klikožrutov, 90 kliksterov.
Around the map, often backwards. I love how I just gone and condensed crap and map together and ended up getting the word crap out of that. That wasn't even intended, but I'm just me not word good today. Alongside this revamp, a new Abyss endgame pinnacle boss has been added, and it has its own set of unique items. You now can no longer get Abyssal Jewels or Stygian Vices anywhere else except Abyss, and I think one of the big tests will be how rare Stygian Vices are now. So in the past, Stygian Vices have been so common that no one cares about them at all. Like they're not loot. I definitely have made a lot of currency crafting them in the past, but that's because you can just buy them reliably for like 1 to 5 speed, depending upon the amount of bulk that you want. But they're only going to come from Abyss content now, nowhere else, no Tujen, nothing else. And Abyssal Jewels are also no longer coming from Tujen, nowhere anywhere else either. And Abyssal Jewels, they can be rarely obtained from Abyss biomes in Delve, but that'll be rare, that'll be pretty minor. Abyssal Delirium mobs are gone. Abyssal Jewels can no longer roll a bunch of bad mobs. Increased damage with hits and elements against Abyssal monsters, minions deal increased damage with hits and elements against Abyssal monsters, additional physical damage reduction against Abyssal monsters, or additional physical damage reduction conditional upon you not having been damaged by a hit recently. Now that last one wasn't complete and utter rubbish, but it was bad. And so this is just removing things that were clogging up the loophole, the roll pool with bad monsters. So overwhelmingly, this is an upgrade here. This also is going to be really good because they're removing these bad mons. This is going to make the Abyss passives that give you 5 or 6 mod Abyss Jewels. This is going to make them better because probably on average, if you had a 6 mod Abyss Jewel, there's a reasonable chance you would get one of these. Like you get half to one of these dead mons on it. And so now it's quite a bit better just not having that available there. Classic Abyss Scarab is now limit 5. Now, Classic Scarabs at limit 5 can sometimes get expensive. I want you to keep that in mind. It may not be the case that anyone wants to farm with 5 of them.
Ideme na to.
You've got the option that means that you definitely...
Tretia séria, 80 klikov žltou, 80 klik sterov.
It may be that they're disappointments. It may be that they're mid-tier, kind of like a Domination Shrine is. Domination Scarab, sorry. But they're definitely worth keeping your eye on. If an area already has an abyss, modifiers that cause areas to contain additional abysses will instead add 2 additional pits. So that means the abyss becomes chunkier, it's going to have more monsters to kill, it's just going to be better. It's kind of like all your abysses are rolled in one place. Abyss of Multitudes now grants abyss chasms in the area spawn 100% increased monsters per soul dead. So, this is an example where you might really want to run Abyssal Scarab of Multitudes, which has been something that has only been used for XP farming in the past. And whilst Abyss has always been serviceable for XP farming, it's never been good for it. So maybe this is something that ends up making it better. Abyss of Oedipus is being changed to Abyss of Crystals. This is going to cause abyss pits in the area that do not contain a reward to instead create an abyssal crystal. Now, the abyssal crystals aren't explained here, but what they do is when you shatter them, which I assume is just a case of doing like $250,000 damage to it or something along those lines, but maybe it's a case of clicking it. Once you shatter it, it will then cause all abyssal monsters in the rest of that pit, or maybe the rest of that abyss encounter, to become tankier and also more rewarding. This wording that Chronicle games use of improved reward and also increased difficulty, this wording is not well understood by the player base. I have personally suspected for a while, and I absolutely am not saying this is proven, but I believe that this causes a bias away from common categories of loot.
Ideme na to, 4. séria, 70 klikov žltou, 70 klik sterov.
Unfortunately also away from currency, and it causes a bias towards rarer forms of loot. Rarer forms of loot sometimes can be quite good. Heist Blueprints are an example of one of the rarest. Sunken Tomes are the actual rarest category of loot. And then there's a bunch of other things. I also suspect that it has some further effects beyond this. It is definitely a positive effect, but how positive is not really clear. People who played around with the Breach Scarab Resonant Cascade, you'll have a bit of a sense of it as well. Like you'll know that this text, it is very live. So that's the new version of Abyss Scarab of Oedipus. This is an increased difficulty and increased reward setup. Now, the Abyss Scarab of Profound Depth is going to add an abyssal consort into the area. Some sort of boss, don't know the exact details here. Abyss Scarab of Profound Depth is the mythic rarity Abyss Scarab at the moment. It's not been popular, but it has been one. It's as rare as the most popular of the valuable scarabs. So it definitely keep that one in mind. If this ends up being good, it's going to be quite rare. Other examples, just to give you a bit of an anchoring as to how rare these scarabs were in the past, Abyss Scarab Classic was a common category of scarabs. This is the same as an Essence Scarab. Abyss of Multitudes was the uncommon category of scarab. This was only a little bit more common, sorry, a little bit rarer than the base scarabs. So we think that these 300 of these drop for every 200 of these, for every 100 of these, for every 10 of these, but that's the old way. And then there's the scarabs that are ultra rare. There's only 2 of those. There's Horn Scarab of Tradition, which no one wants, and Horn Scarab of Preservation. Those are the 2 ultra rare ones.
Pauzujeme ho.
And then there's also...
Dobre, posledná 5. séria klikov žltou. 60 klikov žltou, 60 klik sterov. Poďme to dohraziť. Špekačka, ako tam ide vzadu? Tak rýchlo, že ho nám dali zámrť. Je to za nami, páni, je to za nami. Holy shit. Ale je to za nami. Zrekapitulujeme to. Dneska bol 974. relaxačný tréningový deň s nami. Bol pondelok 27.2026. Skončili sme 17.15. Segment bol dlhý. Trval 11 minút a 55 sekúnd.